Hello everybody and welcome back to Expert Examiner IELTS. My name is Glyn and in this video we're going to do some more writing feedback. This time we have a writing task 2 essay. Let's jump in and have a look. Of course, as always, we start by reading the question to understand what the main theme is, what the specific theme is, and also the question type. So most high-level positions in companies are filled by men, even though the workforce in many developed countries is more than 50% female. So question seems to be in general about workplace issues. More specifically, the specific subject is about equal rights between men and women. Or equal outcomes between men and women in the workforce. But okay, let's read the question type. Companies should be required to allocate a certain percentage of these positions to women. Do you agree? So direct, do you agree question. Of course, we can say yes, we can say no, we could say partially. I always advise students, make your life simpler. Say you agree or say you don't agree. Don't try to be too sophisticated. Don't try to argue both sides too much. Agree or disagree with this. Okay, let's read the question again just to see if there's anything critical in there. Most high-level positions, that's key. High-level positions in companies are filled by men. So we're not talking about just general positions, but high-level positions. What are those? Management positions, senior management positions, directors, CEOs, CTOs, CFOs, COOs, probably, CMOs, anything with a C. Most high-level positions in companies are filled by men, even though the workforce in many developed countries is more than 50%. So there are, in many places, more women than men in the workforce, but still those high-level positions, the top jobs, the ones that earn most money, most of them are filled by men. Is that right? Is that fair? Well, that's not our question. Is it right? Is it fair? The question is, companies should be required to allocate a certain percentage of these positions to women. Do you agree? So what is a solution to this unfairness? Well, according to the question, the solution that we should consider is creating some type of quota. Let's say, for example, we have 60% of women in the workforce. Well, most companies should they should be forced to then have 60% of their senior management as women. Is that fair or is that not fair? Do you agree or do you not agree that that is the right thing to do? Is that the best? Is that the right solution to this problem? Okay, I've spoken a lot about the question. I'm sure probably you are watching this and thinking, okay, get on with it. But I just want to make that point clear that analysing the question, being careful about the question is important. So what am I looking for in the introduction? Well, I like general statements. I know not everybody uses them, but I want a general statement about sexism, about equal rights. You know, something like for more than 100 years, women in the West have fought for equal rights, or since the days of the suffragettes, the women have fought for equal rights and equal opportunities and freedom from discrimination, or even, you know, for centuries, for even for millennia, women have fought for equality with men. Something talking about that historical struggle. Also, it allows you to use present perfect continuous, which is always good. A lot of these essays are present simple heavy, and if we can start with something that refers to, you know, for decades, for centuries, this triggers present perfect continuous and allows you more variety in your grammar. I'm also looking for then a direct reference to the question, and also I want to know the candidate's position. Do they agree or do they disagree? Let's see if we get that. It is argued that, so we jump straight into it's not a big problem, but we jump straight into the question, straight into the debate. I like a general statement. Not 100% necessary, but I like a general statement. It is argued that enterprises, okay, so again, companies or enterprises, it feels like a loose synonym here. Again, I can see what the candidate is doing. They've seen the word companies, they're trying to find a synonym, they've gone with enterprise. Okay, I don't know if I'd call all businesses, enterprises, but okay. It is argued that enterprises should guarantee an appropriate ratio of male and female in high-level positions. Should guarantee an appropriate ratio of male and female workers, maybe. Males and females, or male and female workers in high-level positions, but I'm fine with that. If you want to change high-level positions, you have some alternatives like senior positions or top management positions. Okay. This essay, however, okay, flexible use of however, not using it in its traditional middle position, but putting it before the verb. I like that. This essay, however, disagree. Present simple. I disagree. You disagree. But this essay disagrees. So really, when you're checking your work at the end, plan your work at the beginning, write your work in the middle, check your work at the end. Find these mistakes with present simple because they can be a killer. But okay, one mistake doesn't kill you, and yeah, it doesn't affect my understanding. So this essay, however, disagree with this viewpoint. This essay, okay, we've just the subject, this essay, blah, 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 this essay, blah, 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 blah. Maybe it's a little bit repetitive. Maybe I will, or you could use some passive. The points discussed in the essay include, or whatever. This essay will first discuss, okay, I want to see your position, which is great, you disagree. I don't really need to know why at the beginning. I don't need to know why you disagree, but okay, this essay will first discuss that the appointment of higher positions should be based, passive, should be based on performance. I'd like a full stop there, or if we don't have a full stop, and secondly, or full stop, secondly, comma. Secondly, it forces women to give up freedom. What forces women? What is this it? It forces women. I don't know if it really refers to a noun that we've had here. This essay will first discuss the appointment. Yeah, so this it is doing a lot of work. Now, I know it refers to putting women in these jobs or filling these positions with females, but I don't know. I don't like the word. I don't like the work that it is doing. Secondly, filling such positions with females forces them to give up freedom of making choice. So that's a little bit loose there. I don't think I understand what you mean, that if we say that women must take this position, then women can't choose for themselves. But I don't know, I can't believe that that's true, simply because the amount of women in the workforce, I don't think you would need to force them into position. I think there are lots of women who would be ready to take up those high-level positions. It's just that they're not given the chance. So we're not talking about forcing women into, like, taking choices away from women. So that one, I know probably in body 2 you are going to explain this, but I think you've given yourself a difficult task to explain something which I think on the face of the argument seems like I can say, nah, that's not a good argument. I'm not going to be persuaded. But let's see. Maybe you'll explain this position. Let's see how you do. Okay, so in general, introduction here is okay. We understand the candidate's position. There is a reference to the debate. Little bit sloppy with some language, but in general, we're okay. So immediate thoughts are 6. Any student that makes a mistake with third person S in present simple, I feel like if it's only one mistake, fine. But I think if you have that mistake in the introduction, I'm probably going to see a lot more grammar mistakes with simple language, disagree and should based instead of should be based. So in my brain, I'm thinking 6. Maybe if the candidate impresses me, I might go higher to 7. If things get worse, I might drop to 5, but let's see. Okay, the promotion of female to a high-level position. We're not just talking about promoting them, though, are we? So promotion means that you're already working at the company. You don't have to hire people internally. You can also hire people externally. So you don't have to promote females. You could just hire them from the labor force, from the labour market. So it's not always about promotion. So this word promotion, it's not precise. The promotion of females, singulars and plurals. So for me, looking at lower level candidates, or certainly nothing higher than a 7, sorry, nothing higher than a 6, it is that, do they make mistakes with the verb to be? Do they forget the third person s? Do they mix up their singulars and their plurals? Those are all pieces of evidence that suggests that the candidate is really no higher than a 6. The promotion of females to a high level position, to high level positions in general, I guess, should be based, again, should be based on her merit. Okay, if the candidate is going with singular here, the promotion of a female to a higher level position should be based on her merit. Okay, not sex. Fine, fair point. Okay, but we have because. Now, are they fronting because, or is this because part of this? If it's should be based on merit, not sex, why? Because da 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 da, then we don't need our full stop here, we need a comma. Because such gender-based approach will raise, so approach is a singular countable noun, we need some article, such a gender-based approach will raise people's doubt on females' workability. Okay, so this because... Okay, I guess this because is talking about this reason here. Sometimes we start sentences with because, right? So, because I woke up late this morning, I missed my bus. But is that because doing this, or is this because connected to the first sentence? Give me the moment just to read, because... No, this because is linked to this one, so we have faulty punctuation here. Thus creating, I like this, thus, it shows good, cause and effect. Thus creating heavier spiritual stress, which can restrict women's performance and development. Okay, so making a lot of claims without evidence here. Firstly, saying that if we promote women because of their gender or their sex, this will raise people's doubt on the female's ability. I agree, that's possible. Thus creating heavier spiritual stress. Heavier spiritual stress for women, I guess? So, I don't know if that's, people will doubt their ability and therefore you will get heavier spiritual stress. I don't know if you haven't convinced me of that, which can restrict women's performance and development. Okay. I get the main idea. I'm not persuaded by it, but I understand the main idea. The story of the female teachers in my school. Okay, I know there is a line usually in the question saying like you can support your claims from like experience of your life or things like this, but I prefer not to use personal anecdotes in stories, but okay, it's fine. The story of female teachers in my school supports the performance-based approach. What is okay, I guess I'll give the candidate an opportunity to explain what they mean. Despite having, really like this, despite having, really, 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 really good use of discourse marker, despite having a gender-balanced team of teachers, my school allocates about 70% of the key positions, such as head teacher, to female teachers, and their effort wins the heart of most of our school students. Okay. So, you disagree that we should put women in higher positions, but you're saying that your school allocates 70% of the top positions to female teachers, which you say is a good thing then. It says it wins the heart of most of our students. Now, maybe you mean that the women here have earned those positions. The women they deserve those positions based on their performance, but you really have to say that, right? So the story of the female teachers in my school supports the performance-based approach. These females have a track record of repeated measured success, and therefore earned their positions as leaders in the school, including being a head teacher, and their effort wins the heart of most of their students. That explains it better, but you need to show how those females in your school have earned those positions. According to a survey held by the Students' Union last semester, 85.3% of students are satisfied with. Okay, this information is totally irrelevant. I can't check these statistics. I don't think you should make up statistics, and I don't think you need statistics. I would argue against using statistics in an IELTS essay. Of course, in your university essays, statistics and research are wonderful tools to help you be more persuasive. But in the IELTS essay, there is no expectation that you have statistics to hand. Nobody can predict what the questions are going to be, even though everyone on Facebook says that they're selling the questions. Don't buy them. They're just after your money. You don't need to use statistics. So this is irrelevant. But okay, so we get kind of an idea. I can't say I'm persuaded, and I can't really say that I'm fully informed, because according to the language, he's saying that it's good that his school allocates 70% of the key positions to females, which he says is a good thing. But earlier he says that allocating top jobs to females is a bad thing. Now, I think he means that the women in those positions in his school earned them based on their performance, but the candidate really needs to explain that. Okay, but we have a central point. Next, we get to the more difficult task of talking about how putting women in top jobs restricts them. It takes away their freedom. Good luck making this argument. The requirements of higher positions. What is this subject? The requirements of higher positions? I don't know what that means as a subject. The requirements of higher positions. Not sure what you mean. Can result in women giving up other potential life options. So there is a point, right, that if women can get higher positions, more women might focus on their careers, which could mean that more women, have children later or decide not to have children at all. Maybe that's the point they're trying to make. Maybe. But let's see where they go. The high-level managers have to timely respond. I don't like splitting this infinitive. Have to respond in a timely manner. Have to timely respond, or even have to respond timely, quickly. But I don't like this splitting of the infinitive. Have to timely respond to the fast-changing. Cool, I like this compound adjective. Fast-changing business world. I'm ignoring the mistakes with articles here, which often, I like this comma which, always a big fan of comma which often results in. So they are responding to fast-changing business world that results in, not results. So again, we have that third person S present simple. In the deprivation of work-life balance, it doesn't. Having to respond to things timely doesn't result in the deprivation of work-life balance. Overworking, working overtime, spending too much time at the office, working weekends, that can deprive you of free time. But not just responding in a timely manner. So yeah, you haven't, that's not very precise for the language. For women, they can either choose a career path, article, or have a baby. It's too maximalist, it's too basic, it's too simplistic. There are women who choose career paths and to have children. I agree that it's a bigger challenge. I agree it's more difficult. But you can't say that there's a binary, that you either choose the career path or you have a baby, simply because there are many women who do both. Yesterday, I came across an answer. Okay, it feels too personal here. It's an academic essay. I don't want to hear personal anecdotes and personal language. And, yesterday I came across an answer to a similar problem by a lady. Okay, an answer to a similar problem. Which problem? The problem of having to choose a career or have a baby? By a lady. Okay, by a lady. I don't see where this is going. I don't see how this is relevant. She says she has peaked in her career path, but only ended up finding no companion by her family since she has been forced to stay in single. Ooh, lots of. So I need to reread this sentence. I think I will need to reread this sentence twice, 3 times, maybe 4 times. She says she has peaked in her career path, but only ended up finding. So ended up isn't the right phrasal verb here. Nice attempt. Or maybe we take out only, but ended up not finding. Or found herself in a situation where she didn't have a companion. Companion by her family. What does that mean? A companion by your family. I have a companion by my family. Do you have a companion by your family? Don't know what it means, sorry. Since, good. Like this use of since to show a reason. She has been forced to stay in single. Okay, so the person is saying, like, I've seen this happen in my life. I know one woman who had this decision too. She peaked in her career path, but she hasn't been able to find a partner because she focused on her career. That's what the candidate means, but the candidate hasn't used language in a way that is effective enough to explain that. Therefore, she advises those who claim to chase career path. Claim? What, are you suggesting that they might be lying here? Maybe who prefer to chase. And yeah, I don't know about chasing a career path. You can follow a career path, you can climb a career ladder, but I don't know about this collocation to chase a career path, to think twice. Okay, but in an academic essay, telling me what one random lady says, isn't going to be convincing, right? Let's say you have an essay question that says something like, I don't know, all men should eat poison. Do you agree? And I say, well, yesterday I came across a man and he said that men should always eat poison. So, eat poison. It's not really an argument. It's not well supported. Okay. But okay, there is a central theme. I just think it's not very well explained. A lot of grammar mistakes, but there is a central theme to it and some nice cohesion. In conclusion, this essay opposes the argument. So this essay, put that at the beginning. Don't use this essay in the conclusion. Just get into it. In conclusion, corporations shouldn't allocate a certain percentage of high-level positions to women because performance-based but not gender-based promotion is benefit to their career path. Also because it will deprive them from their other life options. Okay. So very straightforward and very basic in the conclusion, with again a lot of language mistakes. And I'm not here, and I'm sorry if you might want me to pick out every grammar mistake and explain why it's a mistake. I'm not here to do that. The purpose of this is simply to show you, not to teach you grammar, not to teach you why your mistakes are necessarily mistakes, but simply to show you what goes through an examiner's mind when they check essays like this. So let's get to some marks. Task achievement. So the format is suitable. We do have central points, but the arguments, are they well developed? Now, I think the arguments are poorly developed enough that it's worth a 5. There are several times where I have to reread. You rely on personal anecdotes a lot. You make up statistics, or you use statistics that aren't really that relevant. You speak about, some lady or your school. I'm not persuaded by things. Some arguments are too simplistic and just not true. The binary, like women either choose this or they do this. I don't think that's really academic. So task achievement 5. There is a central point. You have an introduction, central point in both of your body paragraphs, conclusion, fine. So your cohesion and coherence. So coherence, we're just lacking a little bit in coherence simply because the language makes it difficult to understand your points. But the cohesion is good. Uh, the cohesion is good. A bit of a mistake with because here, which was a little bit confusing, but I really liked this comma which that we had. Where was this comma which? Comma which? Yeah, there she is. Comma which. Always like comma which. You use such as somewhere, I think. Yeah, such as head teacher. So such as instead of for example, I like that. According to, it's good. You have some signposting language in conclusion. Maybe some firstly, secondly would be nice here. Simple thing. If you're making two arguments, firstly, da 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 da, body paragraph 2. Secondly, da 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 da. Just lets the reader know, oh, this signpost, we're at this stage now. I know paragraphing also does that. You have good paragraphing, some good cohesive devices. Generally, linking is okay. Coherence is a little bit weak, and maybe a bit more signposting language in the body paragraphs would be nice. So coherence and cohesion and coherence, I'm giving 6 for this. Not terribly far away from the 7. If you can keep your points a little bit clearer, the requirements of higher positions as a subject, I don't know what that means. Sorry, I don't know what that means. Companion by her family, I don't know what that means either. So, sorry. But not terribly far away from the 7. Okay, then we get to lexical resource. So, I haven't thought much about lexical resource. I know there are problems with collocations in there. As I mentioned, that companion by family, strange. Okay, we get key positions, very nice. Gender balance, wonderful little compound adjective there. Spiritual stress is a little bit strange, but the use of heavy for stress, that's good. I like that. Restrict women's performance. I don't know if it's about restricting their performance. Maybe it has a negative effect on their performance. Maybe it even diminishes their performance, but I don't know about restrict here. So some awareness of style and collocation, especially with those compound adjectives. Deprivation of... So words aren't always used fully. Chase a career path. Yeah, for me, again, you're not terribly far away from the 7. You certainly have a lot of lexical resource that allows you to speak about this topic like professionally and in relatively good detail. But just because there are so many odd collocations there, again, for me, it's pulling it down to a 6. And grammatical range and accuracy, probably a 5. Anything, I can't say it's a 4 because you have enough complex sentences in there, some examples and attempts at complex-ish structures, nothing major, but so many mistakes that it can't even be a 6, like present simple mistakes with like simple passive constructions. So we get 5, 6, 6, 5 overall. That is a 5.5, which is B2, which is upper intermediate, the lower end of upper intermediate. Things to work on. Understand what an academic argument is. I would recommend not using anecdotal evidence, personal stories from your life. Like, I met a woman and she said. I would advise not using statistics. And it's critical to understand how to make an argument, even if many candidates don't know how to do this in their own language. If you don't know how to write an academic essay, if you don't know what it means to present an argument, to explain an argument, to support an argument with evidence, learn how to do this in your own language, improve your academic skills in your own language. Students who are good at academic writing in their first language tend to be good at academic writing in their second language too. So that would be point 1, learn what it means to make and support an argument. Point 2, really check your work at the end. Make sure you understand the present simple and how that works. Make sure you understand how basic passive voice works. Also be careful with your be careful with your subjects. If in doubt, use people as subjects. Sometimes that's not great for academic writing to always use people as your subjects, but if you're in doubt, you really need, all candidates need to have this like alarm in their head, or this paranoia in their head, the thing that tells them maybe this isn't clear. If that goes off, that alarm, when you read your work and say, well, maybe this isn't clear, maybe the examiner can misunderstand that, that's your sign that you should reformulate it to a simpler structure. A lot of candidates can't tell the difference. They can't understand that because they read it and understand it, they think that the examiner should read it and understand it. And that doesn't always work. You have to be paranoid about your constructions. Clarity, being clear with your ideas in academic writing is so important. But I'll leave it there. Not a bad attempt. 5.5, upper intermediate, decent for paragraphs, central theme in each paragraph, cool. Yeah, I don't have anything else to add to that. Okay, so hopefully that was useful for you. I am doing free writing feedback in June, and I may have some time for some free practice speaking tests too. If you're interested, get in touch. But for now, I'll leave it there. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.